deep beats and a succulent motion. Like a diamond catching the hide when I close my eyes. Spellbinding with my soul, it touched me. It touched me more than once. Where the river builds the gentle waves of Ruchi moments. Yes, it is my river. Yes, it is my river, my Luit, so-called Brahmaputra, and it flows. And it flows forever and ever.
The Ahom dynasty ruled this land and its people for more than 600 years, from 1228 till 1826. The arrival of Sukalpa and the establishment of a strong Ahom kingdom in the Brahmaputra valley was one of the most significant events in the history of entire Southeast Asia. They came from Upper Burma. The dynasty grew gradually by the side of river Dihing and Dikok, the two main tributaries of the Brahmaputra. The territories of more than 500 miles in length and 60 miles in breadth was considered in between from Sadia to Manas River. According to the legend, the ruler of heaven sent his grandson Khong Lung and Khun Lai from heaven with their followers by a golden ladder to rule the Mungri Mungram, which was, as per the Buranji, the first kingdom of Thai on earth. Though this concept is considered as legendary, there are enough evidence to prove its historical basis. It is stated that the Haukafa, the prince of Maushan dynasty of the Burma, was the founder of the Thai Ahom dynasty. A noted section of the Thai race who ruled the Mau country known as Mung Mau was situated on the northeastern frontier tract of Burma. The Hindus of the Brahmaputra valley mention them as Indravansi, considering their bright and fair skin and look. Hence, in most of the earlier literature, the royals of the Ahom dynasty were mentioned as heavenly. The Ahoms were essentially a fighting clan. They had superior war tactics, and their physiques were made for such hilly terrains. In the early periods, they were engaged in warfares with the local tribes. Their westward expansion at the later period invariably brought them in direct conflict with the Son of Soils. The river Brahmaputra was the silent witness to many important events that took place in the Brahmaputra valley. These events had far-reaching impact on the life and culture in the Ahom kingdom. The Ahoms were a section of the Thai race. Historically, these people are known for their valley-dwelling and wet rice-growing character. The particular branch to which the Ahom belong is known as the Thai Mao, or the Mao section of the Thai, but widely known through the Burmans as the Shans. In 1228 AD, Sukalpa, along with his officials and 9,000 men, women, and children, entered into the Brahmaputra valley through Patkai range. Before arriving at Saraido, his final capital, Sukalpa set up his territorial units at Namrup, at the bank of the river Buridihing, Dikho, and the Brahmaputra. Thus, the small kingdom was established, bounded by Patkai Hills, Naga Hills, River Buridihing, River Dikho, and the mighty river Brahmaputra. Morans and Borahis were the first tribes to whom Sukalpa confronted, the first during his journey. Sutia and the Borokosaris were the next. Sukalpa was a great administrator. He understood the fact that without adopting necessary measures, it wouldn't be possible for his clan to expand and rule the period of the valley. He invaded to rule the people, to govern them, to expand his territories. He was a great nation builder with a great vision. He was brave and enterprising. It was his farsightedness that helped in making and building a strong kingdom on the bank of the river Brahmaputra. His leadership quality was unique. Like the great Mughal king Akbar, Sukalpa also encouraged intermarriage between the Ahoms and other sons of the soils of this valley. That was a great decision which helped him to unite the people of the Brahmaputra valley. Thus, Sukalpa laid the foundation of integrity and belongings and ensured 600 years of rules for his successors. Sukalpa's liberal attitude towards irrespective of caste and creed unified the people of Assam to be called as an Assamese race. He is truly the founder of the Great Assam. From the 13th to the 15th century AD, Ahoms were busy mainly in consolidating their newly acquired territory and also protecting it from the neighboring powers. One of such powerful kingdom was the Kamata kingdom. Sukalpa, the fourth Ahom king, defeated the Kamata kingdom and accepted their submission. This made the Ahom undefeatable in the region. However, the reign of Sukalpa from 1293 to 1332, the fourth Ahom king saw the first war with the ruler of Kamata kingdom. The reason for the war is not given in the Buranji. It was then King Sukalpa from 1398 to 1407, better known as Bamuni Kaur, during whose rule Brahmin influence has entered into the Ahom royal palace for the first time. He also transferred his capital to Saragua near the bank of river Dihing. Suhungmong, 1497 to 1539, better known as Dihingya Raja, as he belonged to the Dihingya period, a clan of the royal family, is said to have received the Hindu title Swarganarayan. he transferred his capital to Dihi. During his period, Sadia was annexed under the Ahom kingdom by defeating the Sutia rulers.
ये सुतिया लोगों का कैपिटल है, तो यहाँ से सुतिया लोग शासन किए थे, तो बहुत प्राचीन है। और सुतिया लोगों का आदि राजा भीष्मक जी है, और भीष्मक जी का नाम पे ये इलाका भीष्मक नगर बोलते हैं। और भीष्मक जी का कन्या वो रुक्मिणी जी भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने यहाँ से शादी किए थे, तो भगा के ले गए थे, तो वो भी एक कहानी है। और उनका ब्रदर वो रुक्मो जी थे, तो रुक्मो जी उन लोगों का उस टाइम जो माने जो सैनिक था ना, उन लोग अभी तक रुक्मिणी को तो ये उद्धार कर नहीं सका, इसीलिए उन लोगों ने उस तक एक प्रतिज्ञा किया, तो अभी तक उस लोगों ने वो चूल काट के रखा है ऐसे। तो ये रुक्मा बस्ती भी है नजदीक में। और ये कैपिटल का, ये राजभवन का, वो सुतिया लोगों का राजभवन का इस साइड में एक बड़ा वाला गेट है, एंट्रेंस। और ये वेस्ट साइड में भी एक बड़ा वाला गेट है।
ईस्ट और वेस्ट
दोनों साइड में 2 गेट है। और ये सारा इलाका बाउंड्री थे, तो अभी भी है बाउंड्री, माने कोई जगह में है, कोई में नहीं है। तो अभी ऐसे लगभग ये 14-15 सेंचुरी में ये बना हुआ है, ये महल बना हुआ था। हाँ, वो माने ये पुरातत्व ने, वो आर्किटेक्ट ने वो बताएगा वो लोग।
Right. So right now we are standing at the ruined monument of the Sutia kingdom. So this was supposed to be the palace of the Sutia king. They used to live here and rule the entire region.
Yes.
So यहीं से वो पूरा शासन करते थे।
पूरे शासन करते थे।
Like a heritage site because it has its history back to the Mahabharatas, which is rarely to be found.
Very rarely to be found. Now since we can see these are the ruins which are made around 1400 century, right? ये सब
14-15 सेंचुरी
के आसपास ये बनाया गया।
गवर्नमेंट
ने थोड़ा बहुत रिनोवेट करने की कोशिश की, but we can see only the base of the palace because it's gone. It's like the dust in the history, but we still have few of the remaining remains here, and that's why there's a big signboard out there which specially says if anybody takes even a brick also will be fined and sent to the jail.
Every place has their own history. Right now we're in Hodia, and of course we are here to know more about Hodia. And Mr. Gogoi, जैसे कि हम यहाँ पे बहुत कुछ जानना चाहते हैं आपसे, लेकिन जब भी बात आती है Hodia की या सदिया अगर हम कहते हैं तो Hodia जो है वो पॉपुलर है या फेमस है 4 हाल यानी 4 अलग अलग तरीके के टेम्पल्स उसके लिए प्रसिद्ध है Hodia। तो उसके बारे में आप हमें बताइए।
सदिया ये एंशिएंट सार टेम्पल है, तो सदिया में, तो वो टेम्पल को सदिया में इनको माने साल बोलते हैं। साल, हाँ। साल। ये हम लोग का बैक साइड में जो हल है ये बुढ़ाबुढ़ी हल है। बुढ़ाबुढ़ी टेम्पल। इनको सुतिया लोगों का वो जो पुरोहित है, तो पुरोहित को यहाँ माने पुरोहित वो माने पुजारी को देवरी बोलते हैं। तो देवरी अभी एक कास्ट हो गया, तो वो देवरी लोग ने यही पूजा संभालते हैं। तो यही है बुढ़ाबुढ़ी साल, तो और है तामेश्वरी हल, और है बोलिया बाबा और पटर हल।
ओके, ये काफी प्राचीन है। इनफैक्ट ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, these hal or I would say temples are in fact much ancient, around 1200 century से भी पहले का है। ये बनाया गया बहुत प्राचीन।
जैसे कि इन्होंने बोला कि महाभारत से पहले का है।
वो हिव पार्वती युग है ना। ये देखिए भागवत है, गीता भागवत है, और देवी भागवत बोल के और एक प्राचीन ग्रंथ है। वहीं पर जो माने ये हिव पार्वती का दिन था, तो उसी टाइम यही टेम्पल बनाया हुआ है। अभी जो बिल्डिंग है यही नया है, लेकिन प्राचीन था वो माने
लेकिन यही तो था जगह यही
यही जगह है
Wow.
ये 100% श्योर
Wow, very nice. So that's one of the histories that we came to know about Hodia, and there are so many other halls that we have to visit.
The Kacharis are one of the ancient tribe dwelling in the Brahmaputra valley since time immemorial. The Kacharis ruled from Dikhu River to central and southern Assam. King Sohumung also defeated the Kacharis of the Doyang Dhansiri valley and bought their territory under the territory. It was in 1526 the Kachari royal family moved to Maibong, leaving Dimapur, and it became the home for the Kachari people for a long period. During the reign of Sukalpa in the year 1539 to 1552 AD and Sukalpa in 1553 to 1603 AD had their own political significance. The rivalry between the two great powers of the valley started with the expedition of Viswasingha, the second major invasion by the Koch army under the command of King Naranarayan, with his younger brother Swakladhaj, popularly known as Silarai, resulted in occupying the Ahom capital, Gorgaon. This was the last Koch invasion of the Ahom kingdom. During the reign of the Ahom king Suhumung, or the Dihinya Raja, Bir Malik and Bor Uji, the two Bengal generals were commissioned by the Sultan of Bengal to conduct an expedition in the Brahmaputra valley. Though the Ahom side lost several of their generals and many soldiers in the first encounter, it was the naval supremacy of the Ahom that ended the war with the death of Durbak. The ruler of Komata, Dolavendra, accepted Ahom protection by offering his daughter. The Ahom army marched westward as far as the Korthwa, the eastern frontier of Bengal, and built a small brick temple on its bank. The Kamrup and Komata came directly under the Ahom rule in 1534 after the defeat of Durbak. The river also saw the conflict between the great Ahom and the Mughal during the 17th century. The eastern region of India, strategically important to expand territory, it had direct access to China and Tibet. It was the chief reason the Mughals at Delhi decided to expand their presence in this region. The only barrier was the ruling Ahom dynasty. That was the point the Ahom-Mughal conflict arose. The Brahmaputra valley was rich in minerals, gold dust, long pepper, elephant teeth, musk lac, etc. These abundant resources of great value drew the attention of the invaders most. There was the reign of the Ahom king Susengfa, 1603-1641 AD, better known as Pratap Singha. The armies of the two powers confronted at Boroli near Tejpur. It was the year 1616 AD. In the decisive battle, the great Mughal had lost about 1,700 men. 9,000 soldiers of the Mughals' army were taken as prisoners. After 2 years, the two powers again met at Hajo, a crucial strategic location in 1618. This time, Ahoms had to lose nearby 4,000 boats and almost an equal number of men. The war, however, did not stop, but continued with the occasional outburst. and the pendulum of victory moved from one side to another in Kamrup. Ultimately, peace was restored by a treaty concluded by King Pratap Singha during the rule of Ahom King Sutamala, better known as Jwada Singha, from 1648 to 1663 AD. The Nawab of Bengal, Mir Jumla, entered into the Ahom territory. Mir Jumla was well equipped with a trained army. The newly appointed Nawab of Bengal had a huge infantry and cavalry under his command. He was also supported by a strong navy. The Mughal army was under the guidance of Portuguese and Dutch war experts, and then proceeded towards the capital of Assam. The first line of defense, Hatisala Boritala, fell under Mughal's hand. The second was Pancharatna Jogighopa. And the third and the most important was the Pandu Saraighat. After the fall of the Guwahati, Mughal advanced towards the Ahom capital, Gorgaon. After occupying Gorgaon, Mir Jumla was established his headquarters at Mathurapur. But the Ahom waited till the monsoon, and the rainy season started. Taking advantage of the flood water, the Ahom army then started guerrilla method of warfare. The Mughal army was literally isolated. The Ahom war tactics deteriorate the Mughal strength and confidence. Finally, the confrontation come to an end by signing the peace treaty of Giladhari Ghat initiated by the Ahom. The treaty was signed at the bank of the river Buridihing in the year 1663 AD. And after that, Mughal army left Assam, making it a subordinate state of the Mughal Empire.